Let's rewind a bit for extra information that might be useful to you. For extra information in solving questions as regards 90 degrees rotation, be it clockwise or anti-clockwise, or we say a 270 degrees rotation, also be it clockwise or anti-clockwise. Triangle X is rotated 90 degrees to form triangle Y. And we drew a thin line, which in this case is the green line, from X1 to the center of rotation. Then from there, we drew a line that makes 90 to the initial line, which comes this way. We used a ruler to locate Y1, which is the corresponding vertex point of X1 on triangle Y. But you can also use the grid lines. Using the grid lines for a 90 degrees clockwise or anti-clockwise rotation, or you can say a 270 degrees rotation, you count the grid lines differently as compared to when the rotation is 180. Let's say we count the vertical grid lines. To locate X1 from the center of rotation, we count 1, 2. You count 2 vertical grid lines to get to X1, but since it makes a 90, rather than count the vertical grid lines, here you'll be counting the horizontal grid lines from the center of rotation to locate Y1. So from the center of rotation, we count 2 horizontal grid lines. Remember, we counted 2 vertical grid lines from the center of rotation to locate X1. Since it's a 90, rather than count the vertical grid lines, you'll be counting the horizontal grid lines. So we count 1, 2. We learn that Y is -2, then you trace it to where it hits the green line. This is where you have Y1. Hope you understand. If you are counting the vertical grid lines on this line, since it's 90, on the other line that makes a 90 with it, you'll be counting the horizontal grid lines. And if you choose to count the horizontal grid lines from the center of rotation to locate X1, you have to count the vertical grid lines to locate Y1. So let's say we count the horizontal grid lines instead. This is where we have the center of rotation. To get to X1, using the horizontal grid lines, you move one grid line up. So at this grid line, you have X1 located. So if you're trying to locate Y1, which is the corresponding vertex point to X1 on triangle Y, you count 1 vertical grid line from the center of rotation. You count 1 vertical grid line, which is here, and we'll trace it to where it hits the green line. You can see it's exactly at the same point. So for 180 is different, and for 90 is different. Though this is faster, but the best method is still to use your ruler. I hope you understand.